What is up to all my fellow petrol heads? Thank you for joining me for Road Rogues Volume 9 here on Degenerate Watch. It's been a long time since we've had an episode of Road Rogues here on Degenerate Watch, and if you didn't see our last one, which was number 8, it was a dashcam special where I go through some dashcam clips and also talk a bit about my own dashcam. So if you haven't checked that one out yet, don't forget to check out the link down below in the description. In this episode of Road Rogues, we're going to be checking out some truckers behaving badly. We're also going to see a scuffle between a motorcyclist and a cyclist over road space. And stay tuned to the end to find out what happened when the California Highway Patrol pulled over the Easter Bunny. And as usual here on Road Rogues, we're going to kick off the video with our usual compilation of madness on the roads. Let's take a look. So now let's jump into our first segment and let's watch some truckers behaving badly. Absolutely shocking observations here from the driver of the white truck. He didn't even see the other lad coming up along the inside. Watch the truck in the right hand lane. Again, more very poor observations. He just weaves across, and let's be honest, the guy in the truck that we're in could have lessened the danger by backing off a bit and letting him across. He even admits that himself. Always remember, safety first, ego second. Here we have some childish nonsense from a professional driver that really should know better. The driver in the truck that we're in said that he was just minding his own business until this clown started this carry on. Won't be long before this guy costs his company some money. A bit like the driver in our next clip, this situation here is where some sensors, a camera or even a banksman would come in handy. When I see there in the back of the truck Schneider are hiring. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are after this. And the driver emerges from his cab just to see how many weeks' paychecks have gone in the bin. Here we have a trucker who misjudges his turn a bit and takes another truck along with him. He's pretty lucky he didn't bring down any of those poles. That would have been some mess to clean up. Next up we have a crash test of what looks like a Renault Magnum truck. Just goes to show you how destructive these vehicles can be at speed and when out of control. And it also highlights the importance of having competent personnel at the controls. But luckily, thanks to advances in technology, modern trucks are becoming safer and safer. Next up, we're off to London in the United Kingdom, where a motorcyclist and a cyclist make some contact, resulting in the cyclist ending up on the floor. A police officer is nearby, intervenes, and an argument ensues over who was in the right and who was in the wrong. In my own opinion, I think both parties were as culpable as each other. Let's take a look. I'm not quite sure why the cyclist is actually out there, because he seems to have no intention of turning right at all, and he should really be in on the left where it's much safer. As you can also see from the clip, the man is on his mobile phone while cycling along, which isn't really best practice. But then again, the motorcyclist should have observed better and seen that there was never enough room to get through there. In this situation, the cyclist is actually the more vulnerable road user, and the motorcyclist really should have known better. Regardless of whether he was on his phone or if he was out in the middle of the road, he really shouldn't have went past him like that. Straight away, the motorcyclist mentions, "Why are you on your phone?" So it's like he spotted that and he was trying to penalise the guy for being on his phone. Like, first off, I do not once excuse what the cyclist is doing, because you need to be fully alert if you're on a bicycle, because you are so vulnerable. So being on the mobile phone is a big no-no. But the motorcyclist seemed to want to kind of get back at him for being out in the road like that, and then when he noticed he was on his phone, so it seems like a bit of ego tripping there if you really ask me. They're talking about overtaking and undertaking here, but I don't think that really matters. At the end of the day, contact was made, and I don't think the motorcyclist should have went up the inside like that. So when we jump back in here, a police officer has seen what was going on and she's come over to investigate what has happened.
And the thing is, there's no other way of me doing it, because he's actually on the furthest part of this road here, so everybody is undertaking him. And you can't say I'm undertaking you, because you're on the right, completely on this side of the road here.
We don't get to hear the full conversation that goes on between the two people involved and the police officer, because the original uploader has edited the clip. He says there was no other way of him doing it, but he could have just eased off and waited for a gap to go around the guy on the bike. And then he contradicts himself by saying that everybody was having to undertake the guy on the bicycle, but then turns around and says the guy can't say that he was undertaking him. It just seems to me like it's a bit of an ego thing, maybe a dislike for cyclists with a sprinkling of road rage. Who was in the right, who was in the wrong, or were they both as culpable as each other? I'd love to know what you guys think, so let me know down below in the comments.
I'd just like to say I apologise that we came together here, okay?
Right.
It's not my intention to cause any aggravation between myself and cyclists.
At the end of the day, what actually happened, because I didn't see it.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't seem to matter with cyclists though, because they seem to have a different rule to us other road users.
And just that little end bit there where he's saying there's not enough space, but to be quite honest, the cyclist was oblivious to what was going on around him. You had a visual on what was going on, and it was your responsibility to make sure that you done that manoeuvre safely. But definitely let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I just think it was completely unnecessary and stupid, and someone could have got injured there and it wouldn't have been just shaking hands and going on the other way. But at least the guy on the motorbike had the decency to apologise. For the first time here on Road Rogues, we're going to have a brand new segment which I hope to bring into future Road Rogues episodes. In this segment we're going to be taking a look at what the Garda Roads Policing Unit, formerly called the Traffic Corps, have been finding on Irish roads by taking a quick look at some of the tweets on their Twitter account. The account covers all the different Garda traffic units around the country and reports on the detections that they make, so it gives a good mix on what's happening around the country on the roads. So with all that being said, let's roll right into it. First up, we have Dublin Metropolitan Region West Gardaí finding a litany of offences when they stopped this vehicle in Blanchardstown recently. He had no valid insurance, no valid tax, no valid NCT, was driving unaccompanied on a learner permit and had no L plates displayed. An absolute field day for Gardaí at that checkpoint. And for any of the folks watching from the United States that are wondering what an NCT is, it stands for the National Car Test, and it's a roadworthiness test that's carried out on cars that are over 10 years old every year and newer cars every 4 years. Next up, we have Dublin Roads Policing Units carrying out 34 mandatory intoxicant checkpoints over the bank holiday weekend as part of Operation Meshke. And Meshke translates to intoxicated or drunkenness. Almost 1,000 motorists were tested, 17 drivers were arrested, 9 positive for alcohol and 8 positive for drugs. And just bearing in mind, on a positive note, that was in the capital city, and with that many tests being administered and having that few detections, although 17 detections is still, 17 too many I guess, but at the same time, having that few detections in the capital city over the Easter weekend was pretty positive. Moving on now to people that seem to have a bit of a heavy foot. Gardaí of the Dublin Metropolitan Region South Central Roads Policing Unit were carrying out a speed check on the Stillorgan Road and detected a vehicle travelling at 92 km/h in a 60 km zone. Meanwhile, their colleagues in Waterford Roads Policing Unit detected a motorist travelling at 170 km/h in an 80 km zone. Absolutely outrageous there, and luckily he was arrested for dangerous driving and is charged to appear before the courts, so most likely that guy is going to be put off the road for a fair long time, and hopefully it hurts him financially in the pocket also, as that was absolutely taking the biscuit travelling at that speed. Gardaí and Clare conducting a roadside checkpoint pulled in this vehicle and weighed it using a mobile weigh bridge. The vehicle was discovered to be overweight by 19%, a €200 fine and penalty points were issued to the driver. 19% may seem like a small amount, but when you take into account the effects that will have on the handling and the braking of the vehicle, especially in bad road conditions, it could be lethal in an emergency situation. So it's good to get vehicles and drivers like that off the road. And last but not least, we have Gardaí in Tallaght performing a checkpoint on the R136 where one vehicle had a very badly worn tyre. The driver was driving unaccompanied on a learner permit and also had no L plates displayed. And as you can see from the image, the tyre's in fairly bad shape. So a major headache for that motorist there, as most likely because they were driving unaccompanied they would have had their car seized, incurring more costs. Well, there was our first look at what's happening on Irish roads thanks to the Garda Traffic Twitter account. Some things mundane and some things a bit more extreme and dangerous. But we'll have more in the next episode of Road Rogues. And on that note, in our next episode of Road Rogues, which is number 10, for our 10th episode special, we're going to be focusing on sporting events such as like NASCAR, Rally, Formula 1, stuff like that, and look at some of the mishaps that happen in those sports. So I guess you could call it an off-road Road Rogues.
A picture of the Easter Bunny being pulled over on his motorcycle along the I-8 in La Mesa is getting national attention this morning. 10 News reporter Preston Phillips tells us why the CHP let him slide even though he was breaking the law.
It's a picture that's now been shared all over the internet and seen by millions. The Easter Bunny being pulled over on the side of the freeway alongside his Euro-Russian sidecar motorcycle.
Oh, it's absolutely weird, and the officer, he said, I'm stopping the Easter Bunny.
This video shows the moment the Easter Bunny was pulled over, captured by a helmet cam worn by a fellow biker. Even got him waving at the CHP officer as he walked over to tell him why he was being stopped.
The reason for the stop was he's riding a motorcycle. He had no helmet.
And because of his big head, the CHP called a visual impairment.
What he was doing is compromising his safety and everybody else on the roadway by his vision obscurement.
The CHP says yes, the Easter Bunny was breaking the law, but in the end, the officer let him slide.
He used his discretion and did not issue a citation. He let the rider off with a verbal warning. The rider was very cooperative. He's very apologetic.
Soon after, the CHP tweeted out, "To children everywhere, we apologize if the Easter Bunny is late today. Safety first. Happy Easter."
This could have been a tragedy that was avoided by the officer initiating a traffic stop to explain the serious concerns that we had.
YouTube video surfaced Sunday showing where the Easter Bunny ended up after the traffic stop. San Diego BMW Motorcycles in Kearny Mesa for a charity event where he was chided about the incident by the fellow biker behind the camera.
So you had a run-in with the local constabulary.
I'm really hoping the Easter Bunny didn't take any offence to the reporter saying that he had a big head. But all jokes aside, I can understand where the police were coming from. It is a safety thing. If he can't see out of that head that he's wearing, or if he comes off the bike with no helmet, then it could be a tragedy, as the officer said. And at the end of the day, nobody wants to see anything happen to the Easter Bunny, because we are bunny lovers here on the channel. And wolf lovers as well. But yeah, he was out to do something good for a good cause, to go to a charity event, so obviously you don't want to see anything bad happen to the man on his way there. So the officer used his discretion and let him on, and he got to attend the charity event. But you know, it's a light-hearted stop for the officers there, and kind of just highlights the importance of wearing a helmet as well at the same time. And just a quick little note, that clip wasn't from this Easter, it was actually from last Easter, just in case anybody's wondering. I think the Easter Bunny would have remembered this year to wear his helmet. Well guys, that's just about it for this episode of Road Rogues. I thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, don't forget to smash that like button, as it really helps the channel out and helps push the video out to more people. Subscribe for more and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video here on Degenerate Watch. Follow us over on social media where you can keep up to date on everything that's happening with the channel. Links to those are down below in the description. If you'd like to help support the channel, why not consider becoming a channel member? You can find more information by clicking the join button down below, or the link down below in the description, where you'll get access to members only content, including exclusive videos. We have a merch store over on Teespring where you can pick yourself up some Degenerate Watch mugs and t-shirts. Check the link down below in the description to check those out. And we also have a blog over there on coffee where you can buy us a coffee, and you'll also see some different types of content over there, so don't forget to check those out. And as always, links to everything are down below in the description. And also on a quick side note, we also did a live stream very recently there, and if you haven't checked that out and you want to check that out, there's a link to that down below in the description. As always, I'll be back very soon with another video here on Degenerate Watch. I do hope you'll join me then. But in the meantime, why not check out one of the videos that should be appearing on screen now. Until next time guys, stay safe, take care, peace.